Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins season has been nothing short of a roller coaster. And after Sunday's dominant 34-10 victory over the New York Jets, the narrative surrounding this team has shifted almost overnight. Just weeks ago, Miami was languishing with a record of 2-7, and few would have predicted that the squad would turn their season around with such intensity. But here they are, suddenly one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Head coach Mike McDaniel spoke candidly after the win, sharing insights into what has fueled the Dolphins' remarkable turnaround, and why this group has developed a connection that goes beyond the X and O's of football strategy. I really love this team because they made the choice, the hard choice, to not only believe in themselves, but put in the work even though they've been working very hard and not getting the results, and then you're sitting there at 1-6 or 2-7. McDaniel explained, highlighting the resilience that has defined this Dolphins team. The connection within the locker room, he added, is unique, stemming from the players' understanding that the belief in their own abilities had to come from within. No external validation was required, and that internal drive has forged a unity that is now evident on the field. Each play, each block, and each catch has been a testament to a group of men who have decided collectively that they will not be defined by early season struggles. And the results are now clear in both the standings and the spirit of the team. The Dolphins' rise comes against a backdrop of uncertainty that began late October, when owner Stephen Ross and general manager Chris Grier agreed to part ways. Many assumed that the organization was preparing for a full franchise reset, expecting a period of rebuilding that could have dampened morale and slowed development. Instead, the team has responded with determination, and Miami has not lost a game since that decision was made. Their current record of 6-7 positions them in a highly competitive playoff picture, though the odds, as calculated by the ESPN Football Power Index, still suggested only a 0.3% chance of postseason qualification. McDaniel, however, was unconcerned with these statistical projections. They choose to not listen, and there is a different level of buy-in, but also a different level of pride for the Dolphins logo and what we're fighting for, he said. The emphasis here is on character, pride, and a collective refusal to succumb to external doubt. And it is precisely this mindset that has propelled Miami to victories that few expected as recently as the beginning of November. Every player stepping onto the field now understands that their efforts matter not just for themselves, but for the identity of a franchise that has shown it can respond to adversity in remarkable fashion. One of the standout narratives from Sunday's game was the emergence of second-year running back Jalen Wright, who stepped up after starter Devon Achane suffered a rib injury in the second quarter. Wright responded in emphatic fashion, rushing for a career-high 107 yards on 24 carries, showing both his talent and his preparedness. McDaniel praised Wright's journey, emphasizing that his growth had less to do with statistics and more to do with his mindset and approach to the challenges of professional football. My favorite part of coaching guys isn't when everything is going well, McDaniel noted. Wright's ability to maintain focus, contribute in any capacity, and embrace opportunities in special teams and scout team roles speaks to his character and the culture McDaniel has been cultivating in Miami. The first 100-yard game for Wright was celebrated, not just as a personal milestone, but as a moment that reflected the spirit of a team committed to collective success. A group that has learned to find opportunity in adversity and motivation in challenge. This individual performance aligns perfectly with the broader narrative of the Dolphins season, a story defined by resilience, adaptability, and the ability to rise when circumstances appear most dire. The Dolphins' offensive and defensive units have both been marked by a renewed intensity, with players fully engaged and determined to demonstrate that early season struggles were not indicative of the team's true potential. McDaniel's coaching philosophy, emphasizing accountability, personal responsibility, and a relentless work ethic, has found resonance among the roster, producing a synergy that manifests on game day. The Jets, who entered the matchup with a record of 3-10, were decisively overpowered, with Miami's defensive line dictating the pace and forcing turnovers, while the offense executed with precision. Every play seemed infused with a sense of urgency and purpose, reflecting the broader mindset McDaniel described in the locker room, a commitment to belief in oneself and in the collective. The Dolphins' journey from 2-7 to a competitive 6-7 is not just a statistical anomaly, but a reflection of the intangible qualities that separate successful teams from those that falter under pressure. The resilience, leadership, and self-belief displayed by Miami's players have transformed the perception of this squad in the eyes of fans, analysts, and competitors alike. As the Dolphins look ahead to their upcoming Monday Night Football clash against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who enter the game with a record of 7-6, attention will turn not just to strategy, but to the continuation of this narrative of perseverance. According to DraftKings Sportsbook, Miami is projected as a 3-point underdog for the matchup. Yet betting lines and odds have clearly not dampened the spirit within the team. McDaniel's remarks suggest that the focus remains squarely on preparation, execution, and the cultivation of the special connection that has defined this late-season surge. The Dolphins understand that success is a product of sustained effort, adaptability, and belief. And this mindset will be tested against the Steelers team with playoff aspiration of their own. Each practice, each film session, and each moment on the field now carries amplified significance as the Dolphins strive to extend their remarkable streak and prove that the early season narrative no longer defines them. The blend of emerging talent, veteran leadership, and cohesive culture has created a team capable of challenging expectations and reshaping the perception of what this Miami Dolphins roster can achieve. Underlying all of this is the leadership of McDaniel, whose approach blends tactical acumen with an understanding of human psychology, emphasizing that performance is inseparable from mindset. His ability to foster trust, encourage accountability, and celebrate growth has allowed players like Wright to flourish and the team as a whole to develop confidence in its collective abilities. The Dolphins' resurgence also highlights the unpredictability and excitement of the NFL, where fortunes can shift dramatically over the course of a single month, and where teams willing to embrace resilience and unity can rapidly change their trajectory. As Miami continues its push toward potential playoff contention, the combination of skill, character, and determination will be critical. And McDaniel's reflections underscore that this journey is about more than wins and losses. It is about building a culture capable of sustaining success in the long term. The Dolphin story, once defined by setbacks and disappointment, is now a testament to what can be achieved when a group of individuals chooses to believe in themselves, support one another, and refuse to be constrained by circumstance. The transformation of the Dolphins is not merely statistical but symbolic, illustrating the power of collective belief and effort in a league defined by competition and unpredictability. From a record of 2-7 to a dominant performance against the Jets, this team has captured the imagination of fans and analysts alike, proving that perseverance and unity can overturn expectations. Individual milestones, such as Wright's first 100-yard game, serve to highlight the broader cultural shift, while McDaniel's guidance ensures that the team remains grounded, focused, and motivated. As Miami prepares to face the Steelers, the stakes are high, and the opportunity for further validation looms large. Every snap, every yard, and every decision on the field will contribute not only to the outcome of a single game, but to the narrative of a season defined by resilience, transformation, and the pursuit of excellence. Against all odds, the Dolphins' journey is far from over, and as they continue to defy expectations, one thing is clear: this is a team that has discovered what it truly means to fight for one another and to honor the pride embedded in the iconic Dolphins logo. This victory, like those that preceded it, was more than just a tally in the win column. It was a demonstration of what can happen when determination, preparation, and belief converge. The Dolphins' turnaround serves as a vivid reminder that in sports, as in life, perseverance and self-belief are often the most powerful tools at one's disposal. For the fans, the analysts, and the players themselves, the recent surge offers not only hope but inspiration. A narrative in which adversity becomes an opportunity, challenges become catalysts for growth, and the promise of what lies ahead becomes as compelling as the struggles that have been overcome. With the Monday Night Football matchup on the horizon and a playoff picture still within reach, despite long odds, the Miami Dolphins have proven that their story is not yet finished, and the excitement surrounding this team is likely only just beginning. Still with us? Then show some love, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week. Whispers have been circulating through the corridors of the Dolphins locker room, but now the storm seems to have erupted in the open, and fans are buzzing with disbelief. It all started with what was initially dismissed as another minor incident, the sort of locker room scuffle that gets whispered about behind closed doors. and rarely sees the light of day, but this time, the story that has leaked is far from minor. Rumors claim that Tua Tagovailoa, one of the franchise's most prized assets, arrived with a visible hematoma on his face, sparking fury and confusion alike. The image of him, bruised and irritable, made waves instantly, and insiders say the tension has been simmering for weeks, maybe even months. Behind a veneer of team unity that fans have long assumed was unshakable, sources close to the team are hinting at an altercation that goes beyond the typical competitive frustration you see in professional locker rooms. There are whispers of a confrontation between Tagovailoa and an unnamed teammate, described by some insiders as volatile and emotional. One source confided that this was not just a clash of egos, but a full-blown confrontation where tempers flared so high that physical contact may have occurred. The details are murky, partly because both the team and the players involved have been tightly shutting down any official comment, but the rumor mill is churning relentlessly, painting a picture that is more dramatic than anything fans could have imagined. Some claim that Tagovailoa confronted the teammate after a heated discussion that had been boiling during practice. A discussion that escalated into a shouting match and ultimately left him with a mark on his face. The air in the locker room, they say, is tense and uneasy, as though everyone is tiptoeing around the incident, waiting for the next eruption. The use of the word coward has been thrown into the mix in social media circles, allegedly directed at the teammate who sparked the conflict. Whether this was said in the heat of the moment or as a calculated jab later is still unclear, but the phrase has become a rallying cry. Among the rumors' amplifiers, analysts and fans alike have speculated endlessly about who could have provoked Tagovailoa to the point of public embarrassment. Some suggest it could be a veteran player, one who has long felt underappreciated or overshadowed by the quarterback's rising prominence in the team's hierarchy. Others hint at a younger player, perhaps frustrated by what they perceive as preferential treatment or inconsistent leadership from the coaching staff. Regardless, the story has taken on a life of its own, with speculation filling the gaps left by the team's silence. What makes this incident even more intriguing is the timing. The Dolphins, known for their carefully curated image of professionalism and team-first attitude, have always gone to great lengths to present unity, especially with media and fan interaction. For a conflict of this magnitude to leak even in its embryonic stages is telling. It suggests that the locker room dynamics might be far more complex than the public has ever been allowed to see. Former teammates and insiders who have worked in high-pressure sports environments describe incidents like these as inevitable when talent, egos, and the relentless pursuit of victory collide in close quarters. But they also emphasize that rarely do these confrontations leave a visible mark, like the one Tagovailoa reportedly bore on his face. That detail alone has fueled endless speculation, with fans dissecting every post, every sideline shot, and every subtle expression in game footage, searching for clues about the alleged confrontation. The social media reaction has been instantaneous and merciless. Clips of Tagovailoa with a slightly swollen face and screenshots of cryptic comments from the Dolphins' official channels have sent the rumor mill into overdrive. Hashtags, some supportive and others critical, have begun circulating, and podcasts have seized upon every nugget of information, no matter how small. As evidence of a brewing storm, fans are divided, with some expressing solidarity with Tagovailoa, lauding his courage for standing up to a teammate, while others question whether the quarterback's response may have escalated a situation that could have been handled internally. Adding fuel to the fire are unverified insider posts that claim locker room tensions have been mounting for weeks, suggesting that what we are seeing is merely the tip of an iceberg. Some analysts speculate that the heart of the issue may extend beyond personal clashes. Team chemistry, they argue, is often influenced by coaching decisions, playing time allocations, and off-field relationships, all of which may have played a role in this alleged altercation. One unnamed source hinted at disagreements over strategy and leadership, suggesting that Tagovailoa may have felt undermined or disrespected in front of the team, pushing him to confront the situation head-on. It is a scenario that, if true, reveals the fragile balance of egos and ambition that exists in professional sports, and how quickly things can spiral out of control when that balance is disrupted. Even within the Dolphins' front office, whispers are circulating about potential repercussions, while no official statement has been made. Insiders speculate that meetings behind closed doors are underway to assess the situation, possibly mediating between the players involved or evaluating disciplinary action. The mere fact that this incident has leaked into public discourse complicates any internal resolution. As fan and media pressure can influence decision-making in real time, the organization's leadership may be walking a tightrope, trying to protect the team's image while also managing internal dynamics, which are now under unprecedented scrutiny. Rumors continue to swirl, and with each passing hour, the story grows more elaborate. Some suggest that Tagovailoa's bravery in confronting a teammate, allegedly calling him out as a coward, has made him a polarizing figure within the locker room. Others counter that his actions were justified. A rare moment of candid emotion in a high-pressure environment, where players are often expected to suppress feelings for the sake of team unity. Whatever the truth may be, the narrative is now out in the open, and fans are devouring every piece of information, dissecting every photo, and debating the moral and professional implications endlessly. It is the kind of story that has all the ingredients of a legendary locker room drama: talent, tension, emotion, and a visible symbol of conflict that fans and insiders alike cannot ignore. And so, as the Dolphins navigate what is being described behind closed doors as a tense and delicate situation, the broader sports world watches with bated breath. Every training session, every media interaction, and every sideline moment is now subject to scrutiny, as observers try to decode the unspoken tensions and anticipate how the team might move forward. In the age of instant social media amplification, a single incident, whether minor or monumental, can define public perception. And the incident involving Tagovailoa is shaping up to be one of those rare stories that refuses to fade quietly as speculation continues. One thing is certain: the Dolphins' locker room will never be viewed the same way again. And the story of TUA Tagovailoa's confrontation has already etched itself into the narrative of this franchise in a way that is as dramatic as it is unconfirmed. The unfolding saga has all the hallmarks of a story that will be dissected for weeks, if not months. Experts are already weighing in on potential long-term impacts, from team morale to player performance, and the rumor itself seems to grow with every retelling. Whether this incident becomes a defining moment in Tagovailoa's career or fades as a misunderstood flashpoint remains to be seen. But for now, the locker room tension, the visible bruise, and the whispered accusation of cowardice have created a perfect storm of speculation, intrigue, and drama. It is a reminder, perhaps, that in professional sports, what happens behind closed doors is often as compelling, if not more so, than what fans see on the field. And in this case, the rumors, the tension, and the drama have already captured the imagination of fans around the world, leaving everyone wondering what will happen next in a story that refuses to stay silent. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!